Hello, my name is Mike Halapy, and I'm the Director of the Service Dog Team for Highland Canine LLC. My department specializes in matching and training canine partner service dogs to assist people with a variety of needs. Today, I want to speak about the Americans with Disabilities Act, commonly referred to as the ADA, as it relates to service dogs, so that you and your employees can be informed as you interact with service dogs and their handlers in your place of business. By the end of this video, my goal is that you will be able to understand what rights a service dog and handler are conveyed by the ADA, as well as the rights you and your employees have when interacting with a service dog and handler. This video is meant to be informative and provide guidance into the regulations published by the U.S. Department of Justice. It is not meant to be legal advice. Any questions or concerns should be directed to the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, and I would encourage all businesses to review the information provided at ada.gov. It is worth noting before I begin, while the ADA is our topic of conversation today, it is not the only governing body of regulation when it comes to service dogs. For further information, see the Air Carrier Access Act of 1986, the Fair Housing Amendment Act of 1988, and various state and local regulations that may convey further rights to a service dog in training, handler, and trainers. To start with the basics, we are going to talk about what the ADA does and does not consider a service dog. It is important for you and your employees to understand the difference and know what questions are allowed to be asked to determine if a dog is a service dog and is granted public access rights. The ADA defines a service dog as a dog that has been individually trained to do work or perform a task or tasks for an individual with a disability. The task or tasks performed by the dog must be directly related to the person's disability. The dog can be any breed or size and may or may not have been trained by a professional trainer. However, the dog must have been trained to take specific actions to assist the handler with their disability. This could include a wide variety of tasks such as deep pressure therapy, guiding the blind, or providing an alert during a seizure. The ADA does not recognize or grant public access rights to emotional support animals, therapy animals, comfort or companion animals, and the ADA does not convey the same rights to service dogs in training. However, it is worth noting that state and local laws should be reviewed, as many places have expanded public access rights to service dogs in training, their trainers, and some other types of support animals. Please keep in mind that while many service dogs will be wearing identifying equipment such as a harness or vest, it is not required by the ADA. There are also no certifications, documentation, or mandatory registration requirements, and a service dog team cannot be excluded if they refuse to provide documentation. A service dog is required to be under the control of the handler at all times. For many teams, this will require a leash, tether, or similar equipment, but it should be noted that teams where a leash or tether would interfere with the dog's tasks, the dog may be off leash, but the handler must be able to control the dog by other methods. In many instances, it will be obvious to you and your employees when a dog is a service dog. For other situations that are not as obvious, there are only two questions you or your employees are allowed to ask. Number one, is the dog a service dog required because of a disability? And number two, what work or task has the dog been trained to perform? Your team is not allowed to make further inquiries into the nature of the disability. The handler is not required to demonstrate the tasks, or as previously mentioned, the handler is not required to provide any kind of documentation or certifications. Generally speaking, a service dog and team are allowed anywhere the public is allowed to go, with few exceptions. They cannot be treated less favorably, isolated from other patrons, or required to pay deposit fees normally associated with pets. The ADA requires businesses, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies and offices to make reasonable modifications to accommodate service dogs and their handlers. For example, a service dog is allowed in a restaurant even if they have a no pets policy and cannot be forced to sit in alternative seating from the general public. What the ADA does not require is that businesses fundamentally alter the nature of their business to accommodate a service dog team. This can include places where there would be a legitimate safety concern. To continue the example from the restaurant, while a service dog is allowed in a restaurant, the business is not required to allow a service dog team back into the kitchen if it is not open to the public, and the dog will not be permitted to sit in a seat or eat from the table. It is also worth noting that at no point are you or your staff responsible for the care or supervision of a service dog. The handler is responsible for any feeding, supervision, or toilet needs. To continue with the business's rights, if a service dog is being disruptive, for example, unprovoked excessive barking, and the handler does not take effective action to control it, or if the service dog demonstrates it is not housebroken, a business is within their rights to ask that the service dog be removed. However, the handler must be permitted to continue their interaction without the dog present. To close, a business should be aware of the ramifications of illegally denying access to the business or its services. An individual that believes they have been illegally denied access is able to file a complaint with the U.S. Department of Justice and can file federal lawsuits for discrimination under the ADA. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has been helpful. Please feel free to check out our team and programs at www.highlandcanine.com and www.autismassistancedog.com. Follow us on social media for all kinds of canine trading related content, including service dogs, law enforcement canines, and pet dog related training.